Hello, I'm Alma Schneider. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and the proud mother of 4 children, one of whom has Prader-Willi syndrome.
And I am Iris Miller. I'm a certified rehabilitation counselor and the proud mother of 2 children, one of whom has quadriplegic cerebral palsy and is nonverbal.
In this podcast, we discuss the uncensored truth about raising children with disabilities.
Prepare to laugh, cry, and hopefully learn something new.
This is 2 Moms, No Fluff. Hello, everyone. Welcome to 2 Moms, No Fluff. I'm Alma Schneider. I am here with my partner, Iris Miller. We are very excited, as always, to share some insights, some venting, all sorts of things with you. Please make sure, as always, to give us a 5-star rating if you remember, because it really helps us share our podcast with people who need to hear it. So Iris, would you like to tell everyone about what our topic is today?
Yeah, I would like to share what the topic is today. But before that, I want to share with you, Alma, and all of our listeners, how my morning began with my son, who's typical, right? Having a tantrum that resulted with me trying to help him make his chocolate milk, while in the process kind of trying to rush out of the house, spilling the chocolate milk into a drawer that we have with all the cups and mugs in the house, making everything swamped with chocolate milk, following by us rushing out of the house with yet another cup of chocolate milk, which he left half open on the seat. When I started driving, I heard something fall and the whoop, whoop, whoop of the chocolate milk spilling all over our fabric. I can't, I remember how it's called in English, you know, what you have for your foot to rest in the car. Basically a total catastrophe of chocolate milk all over. And this is just actually a regular, normal day. But the episode today, friends, is about what happens when the S hits the fan. Yes. And I know that my morning today was just a little bit of a cleanup catastrophe, but all of us ever in this journey of parenting, our kids with disabilities, the kids that are medically complex, we know that something that seems like a very calm morning can turn in a blink of an eye into a actual show that doesn't seem to have any ending. So today, Alma and I will discuss some of the techniques on how to handle days like today and days that things really are going wrong. I hope that these tips would help other parents. But Alma, do you want to start with some help and advice?
Sure. What I like to do is, even before there are any problems during the day, I like to remind myself all the time that living in this disability world is a condition, and it is ever changing. And you might be having a really good day today, but you may have a really bad day tomorrow. So it's really important to acknowledge and appreciate the days that are really good, so that you are not just acknowledge and appreciate, but also live to the fullest on the days that are good, because you never know when it's going to be a day that is going to be very stressful. So just, I want to start with that, and to know for a fact that yes, you may be having an easy, streamlined day, but it could change at any moment. And so we really need to think about that as it's a condition. It's not always going to be good, and to really own that I know for a fact that things are going to get hard. So that's why I'm going to take advantage of the time that's good. So one of the things that I do when I'm having a very hard day, in addition to appreciating the good days, is to step back and take care of myself. And that might mean laying down on a bed, and even for a couple of minutes, and calm my mind so that I can, if it's an issue that is going to require some action, to lie down, because sometimes when we're in a panic about something, we can't think straight. And that's a fact. If you're under stress, your brain does not allow you to problem solve. So it's really important to bring your heart rate down and your anxiety levels down. So even just closing your eyes for a couple of minutes to calm yourself will help you problem solve. And it'll also keep you just calm, which is something that's really important to do. So that's one of the things I do. I just pull myself out of the situation at a moment where I'm able to do that and just get my breathing under control so that I can problem solve if I need to. And sometimes it's not about problem solving. It's just saying, let me calm down. I'm in a hard moment and I will come out of it eventually. So that's number one.
I love it, Alma, and I think that at the beginning years, I kept on asking myself, why us? Why me? You know, why? What have we done wrong to deserve this? And it was really, really frustrating. But there is something I hate to say it, but practice makes perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You learn how to handle that roller coaster that is our life, and obviously the example that I gave today with the spilled chocolate milk, it's nothing like the magnitude of catastrophes that parents of
Absolutely.
children with disabilities need to handle is something that a typical parent really has sometimes no clue. The heart rate, the stress, the anxiety, the fear that we have to kind of handle with our children is extreme. And I loved your tip about like stopping to take a breath. And I want to also add on to that is that on days like that, when you have to rush to the hospital and you have to do this and you have to do that, and there's other children involved, it's to remember the basics of taking care of yourselves in addition to maybe the rest that you suggested. It's to remember to drink, to remember to use the bathroom, to remember to eat, to you're not hungry, I understand you're stressed out, but doing those simple actions of keeping at least your system functioning can go a long way. And also finding a mechanism between you, your partner, other relatives, or actually help that can be bought with money to find the time to sleep is sometimes a necessity that people need to prepare for. And make sure that you kind of check the boxes. I did use the bathroom today. I did drink enough water. I did eat 3 meals, and I did get at least 6 hours of sleep so you can function. And I know that 6 hours of sleep sound to some of the parents here like a luxury beyond luxuries, but work towards achieving that goal because it would help you make better decisions so you can better take care of your child or children at a time like this.
Yeah, absolutely. These, we don't think about those things when we're under stress, and it's so important. It's like the most important thing to get everything in your body stabilized. Um, Another thing that I think is really important to talk about is staying away from people who sap your energy. And we might feel like that's a mean thing to do if somebody calls us and we don't call them back. But this is a time where we really need to pay attention to ourselves and what we need. Because again, as we all know, and we talk about it a lot in this podcast, if we're not at our best, we're not going to be at our best for our children. So the idea that you might not even think about it at the in general, that this person takes a lot out of me, or this person is kind of annoying, or this person I don't want to deal with. Really pay attention to that and listen to that. And you don't have to respond to people immediately. You don't have to have a long phone conversation with someone just because they called you. If somebody shows up at your door as a popover, you might just want to say, listen, I love that you did a popover, but I really can't talk right now. I'm going through a lot of stuff. Be honest, and people will respect that you are not, you need to take care of yourself right now because you're going through a lot. So it's not that you're being mean, it's not that you're not being a good friend or a good family member, but you need to take care of you now. And if you struggle with taking care of yourself, put it on your child. Like, I need to do something for my child, and everybody will understand that and respect that, and you deserve it. everybody deserves to take care of themselves. So keep away from those people. You don't need to tell them that they're an annoying or sapping your energy, but you need to make that clear that you need to take care of yourself. And on the flip side, you need to reach out to the people who lift you up and who always talk you off the edge or that just make you laugh. So stay away from the people who are not good for you and make an effort to reach out to the people who are good for you, who are able to pull you out of your stressful situations if you have those people. And if you don't have them, it's time to work on finding those people.
Yeah, Alma, you were saying something that clicked in my head, that everybody would understand that you're going through something and you can't attend or pay attention to their needs. But
Mm-hmm.
what I want to add is that there are people who would not understand. These are the people that you need to eliminate from the equation. They're not helpful. If you need to supply explanations to your situation, these people are obviously not a good game players for the game that you're in. So it's okay to kind of really shift your relationships, because you're elevated to a different ball game that is much harder to play. You need the best players next to you, and those players are the people that really would support and would help you. And
I love all the game metaphors. They're great.
gee, I love that, Emma.
Yes.
Okay, so it's baseball season.
Yes, it's baseball season. So
But anyway, I think that we as a family lost lots of friends or people we thought are very good friends of ours in this process, but we gained so many others that are so much more important and meaningful to our lives that it's almost like having a strainer, when you have a child with a disability, and that strainer helps you kind of sort out who's the good people that are actually worthy of your time, your energy, and to stay a part of this experience and journey. So that's just to kind of summarize what you said. And then I thought about, calling the friends that you mentioned. I want to kind of lift it up a notch and say, don't just call your friends and your family, call organizations that can help and support you. I would be the first to admit here that we at one point had to call Jewish Family Services, which, by the way, is not dedicated to helping Jewish families. It's the contrary. The majority of the people that they help and support are people that are not Jewish. Nevertheless, they had brought us meals over a period of time, which saved us grocery shopping and the time to cook and the time to clean afterwards. And we really relied on that for a period of time. And it was literally life-saving. It was so helpful and meaningful. So I want to suggest or offer to other people, know where and who you can call in your area. If today is not a day where the S hits the fan, use the time to actually Google it and see what's available in your area, and keep those names and phone numbers on your phone, because we all know that it's a matter, like in our case, God forbid someone doesn't feed my daughter well, and that can be all hell breaks loose. So what I want to say is, knowing your people is half the trick. Knowing your community and the resources that are available out there is also a very, very big and important part.
yeah, yeah, especially in a crisis, it's really important to have those resources ahead of time so you're not struggling while you're in the crisis. So that's a really excellent point. And you have to think about what your crises might be with your family. We all know what might happen with our family. Like, for example, with my son, if I know that I need to get him to the emergency room if I find out that he ate too much, and there are certain I know the signs to look for. So I know that ahead of time, so I can, if there's a crisis and oh my God, he got into something, I immediately know that I need to get to this hospital that has dealt with children with Prader-Willi syndrome before, and they'll understand it. So knowing your own situation well and planning accordingly ahead of time is so important. Planning is so important for so many things in our world. So pay attention to that. I also want to talk about the fact that it can be really useful to think back to a time where you had a crisis or an emergency and remember that you got through it, as something as simple as that, to really, because this can be a time when there's a crisis, like, oh my god, I'm never going to get through this, this is a nightmare, we're all at risk. We will get through this, we will get through this, and we've done it before and we can do it again. So just these positive thoughts about your capabilities, your family's capabilities, and that it's very hard, but you will get through it. Sounds simple, but it can be very helpful.
Yeah, and to that point, one of my friends once told me that an average person makes about 30 mistakes a day. And I tried to look up the statistics to see if it's real, and I couldn't verify that. But going with the assumption that we are not machines and we are making plenty of mistakes every day, I am the testimony with spilling the milk today. It just like it happens. I need to remember. I thank God that the milk was spilled both inside the drawer and not all over the floor. And second, that it was spilled all over the car, but I did not make a car accident. So framing the mistakes in a positive way is important. And forgiving ourselves because we're human, and it's inevitable that we'll have lack of judgment at some days and sometimes, and that we would miss maybe hints and clues. Everybody has perfect vision in hindsight, and we are our worst enemies when it comes to judging our own actions. And being a parent requires so much. I know that society tends to blame parents, especially parents of special needs children and children with disabilities. It's almost inherent in the history of disabilities. But we need to learn how to forgive ourselves first.
Yes, compassion for ourselves. And really, the last thing that I want to say is that we really need to, if we're in a crisis or when we're in a time that's not a crisis, we need to find the things that make us feel good. We all have our own, it's very individual, it's unique to each of us what we do to make ourselves feel calm and secure or happy. And for me, that's often going to yard sales and helping friends and cooking. Those are some of the things I like to do that kind of put me in a zone and make me feel good. Spending time with, people that I really like, traveling, if, as much as possible, if you can during the good times, but really building yourself up in between the tough times. And if possible, during a crisis or during just a difficult time, find something that'll make you feel good. It could be journaling. It could be writing an article about your experience so that you're helping someone else when they encounter an experience like you're experiencing. So just find what makes you feel good. Really pay attention to that and lean into it and do it.
Yeah, a good one. I want to kind of, as my last point, say that we are trying to build our lives around routines and to participate in certain things and take our children to certain activities. But some days are just too rough, and it's okay not to send your child to soccer on a certain day. So the siblings do miss a little bit, but they gain a little bit more of a sane parent. And it's okay at certain days also not to send your kids to school. It's not the end of the world. If you can take care of yourself and find ways to simplify your day on a hard day, everybody benefits from that. It's just, again, the analogy of the oxygen masks on a plane. First, take care of yourself. Nothing dramatic would happen if the routine of the family would be broken for a day or two. And
Yes.
that being said, you can spend the money on days like that on ordering food. Order pizza. Forget it's not the most nutritional meal. It might be a waste of expensive, I guess, money that you didn't plan to spend on that. But if it simplifies your life, go with it. And after, this crisis is averted, you'll be better, you'll eat better, you'll manage your finances better, but just go with the flow and help yourself in emergency situations.
Great, great. All right. Well, we hope we've been helpful, and let us know what your strategies are when you get a chance. We'd love to hear from you at info@2momsnofluff, or on our Facebook, on our various Facebook pages, Two Moms No Fluff. Thanks so much, Iris. See you
Thank
again
you, Alma.
and enjoy your day.
And I am not crying over spilled milk.
Good.
See you next time.
For more information, please go to www.twomomsnofluff.com. Thank you.
If you like this podcast, please subscribe and give it a 5-star rating so more people can hear it. Thank you.